She does.
Oh, Melody makes the worst tea in Tuscany. I sent Lance over to feel you out.
I should have known.
Well, he wouldn't spy on you, but to tell you the truth, I think he's still in love with you. I think he's crazy.
You said he's still in love with me?
It makes you sick, doesn't it?
Therapist, ICU.
You could have at least called. I would like to talk to my son in private, if you don't mind.
She's a hard lady to refuse.
We know.
Come in here.
Yes, ma'am.
I suppose it's a waste of time for me to ask you what's going on. It is my house that you broke into.
We knocked first, asked Charlie.
Is Maggie packing, or did she go back to sleep?
No, she'll be here for breakfast. You are serving her breakfast.
Richard, I want you to be very careful with her because she is still so fragile.
I don't need your advice.
Well, you're going to get it whether you like it or not. Now, don't get Maggie involved in your problems.
Bye, boys.
I'm going to Washington.
Oh, no, you're not.
Maggie has asked me to look after Kevin and Michael. Isn't it wonderful?
That's not exactly the word I had in mind.
I can find out even more horrible things about Richard. Then they will have to let me testify. I will be absolutely riveting.
I will not have this family held up to public ridicule.
Nice try, Mother.
There's a new kind of organized crime.
Thanks, Charlie. It's about to start, Grandmother.
It's a little early for that, isn't it?
We're about to watch Richard Channing get hung up by his heels. Now, entertainment this good deserves popcorn.
The white collar.
My, bloodthirsty today.
Al Capone never dreamed of being. This is Howard Gordon reporting to you live from the
Charlie,
United States Senate.
you can stay if you like.
With memories of McCarthy,
Thank you, Miss
Malott,
Channing.
Watergate.
Where is it?
What are you talking? What?
Where is the deed?
What deed?
Oh, don't put on that surprised face. You saw it and you took it, didn't you?
I think you better get a paramedic for her.
Oh, your grandfather, your precious Joseph Gibberti. He stole Falcon Crest from the Ugrettis. Falcon Crest is mine. It's always been
I
mine.
haven't time for fairy tales as long as Lance is in that hole. Now tie her to a tree.
I want to thank you for rushing right over here. I knew you both would enjoy this little disaster.
Well, that's a strange place to park a truck. Or is that the way you age your wine?
Did somebody really drain the tanks?
Good act, Chase. You sound like you really don't know.
I don't. But I do know how it feels to have a lot of work and a great deal of wine go down the drain. Not meaning to make a joke, of course.
Well, don't worry, it isn't.
Maybe you've got more guts than I thought.
I appreciate the compliment, but I didn't have anything to do with dumping your wine.
What about Cole?
What about him?
He was just as mad as you were the other day in a winery, right, Angela?
Yes, he was pretty upset.
Now, wait a minute. Just keep Cole out of this.
Oh, no, the champagne was his pet project, and he's a pretty hot-tempered young man. As I recall now, he was once a suspect in a murder case.
Richard, you are out of your mind. That's a cheap shot, even for you.
Now, hold on, brother. We're going to talk this thing through.
Wait a minute. Talk or not, keep your hands off of me. And don't ever call me brother again.
Stop it now, both of you.
You understand?
Yeah. Good Lord, I've done it now.
And I'll get blamed for ducking.
You could sue, of course, Angela. It's clearly a case of aggravated assault. Richard even admits hitting you.
It was Chase who ducked.
What did I tell you?
No, I'll make up something straight. You ducked, and Richard flattened Angela? Damn, I wish I'd been there.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for Jean-Louis.
You look like you're ready to pounce. Now, you go on upstairs. I'll be here when he arrives.
Oh, sure you will, to tell him I'm out.
Emma, darling, I just don't want to see you hurt. Now, I saw the way that man was eyeing you like a steak on a platter.
So did I. Oh, Mother, it's been so long since anyone's looked at me that way.
That's what I mean. You're ripe for the picking.
Look, he sent me a camellia, my favorite flower. And this was the card. Flowers so beautiful, they need no scent. That's exactly what I always said. It's almost as if he can see inside
The
me.
only thing he can see is M-O-N-E-Y.
And sometimes you're not N-I-C-E.
I'll get it.
No. Angela!
Oh, why why didn't they lock the doors?
How dare you buy that land? Frank wants me to have what's in that town, not you.
I don't want it for myself. I want it for him.
What, are you planning to make a profit on it when you sell it to him?
That land is a gift from me to Frank, and nobody's going to disturb that town until he says so.
Nobody meaning me, right?
Oh, well, you've been posing as the lovable little niece. Now, I guarantee you he's going to have a different story. So don't you huff and puff at me.
Oh, I'm not going to huff and puff at you, Angela. I'm just going to blow your house down.
Well, you've certainly got the hot air to do it.
I can't help it if I love a circus.
You had a hand in this, too, huh?
Well, it would be a terrible shame if all your grapes rotted, Angela.
You know, I'm getting a little tired of your sharp little tricks.
Oh, are you going to steal my car?
No, it's just time that you see how it feels.
Oh, I'm just shaking in my boots.
Don't worry, I'd be delighted to pay for the tow truck. All of this power you've given him.
Richard Channing, your son.
He wants to use it to ruin Falcon Crest and to ruin me. And when he's through with us, he'll start on you.
Well, I consider myself warned.
I haven't finished.
Indeed.
Now, you have interfered in my personal business. I never allow that.
I promise you I had no intention of interfering.
Trying to kill me counts as interfering, don't you think, Mr. Rosemont?
This battle is between my son and myself. And if you help him, you will make yourself my enemy.
And I understand you are a formidable one. However, I've always had a certain appreciation for a worthy opponent. If indeed you and I ever find ourselves in that position, I might enjoy it.
I doubt it.
Oh, don't worry, Angela. I'm leaving. And I haven't folded, spindled, or mutilated a thing in your house.
Melissa, I want to talk to you.
Hi, kiddo. You like Grandma's oatmeal? No. Well, that's okay. I didn't like it.
I went to the hospital where the birth took place. The records are missing.
But what about the doctors and the nurses that assisted them? If you're going to cover up this evidence, you're going to have to work a lot harder.
I'm doing my best, Mrs. Channing.
Well, perhaps these would convince you that your best is not good enough. I think your wife will find them very revealing. Not to mention the sweet little thing's parents.
This could destroy my marriage, career, everything.
What you do in the privacy of your bedroom is your business. But what you do in the bushes is mine. Revenge leaves a very bitter taste in one's mouth. Something like sour grapes. Why don't you leave it to the pros?
What do you hope to gain by carrying out this motherhood charade?
You know something, Richard? I'm glad you don't believe it. Charlie, I just talked to the doctor, and he said if you don't have this operation, you can die.
Mrs. Channing, it is better to die in peace than live in disharmony.
Oh, whatever that means. Now, look, I want you to do me a favor. Call your brother, the one with the 12 sons, and ask him to choose the one that would be most promising to take your place.
Mrs. Channing!
Now, don't look offended at me. This is your choice, not mine.
Forgive me, Miss Channing. I'm sure one of my nephews will be happy to serve you.
How soon can he start?
I'll call him now.
Good. Oh, my, what a terrible view. You should spend your last days looking at something more pleasant than the parking lot. I'll have your room changed.
Mrs. Channing?
Unless you would like to come back to Falcon Crest. It would make it much easier. You could train your nephew and teach him some of your bad habits.
I don't think my nephew will work out. I'll let the doctors operate.
He's in recovery, but you won't be able to see him till tomorrow.
How does it look?
The tumor was encapsulated, so I think we got all of it.
Then he'll be able to come home soon.
Well, let's see how it progresses. We may need to follow up with radiation therapy, but so far, everything looks good. Excuse me.
Thank you, Doctor.
You know, Charlie has been with me longer than any of my husbands. If he died, who would I have left? How sweet, sharing your memories of Chase. It's just what this old place needed to get it swinging again.
Well, it wasn't my idea.
No? Whose was it?
Mine. Do you like it? I put the bar over here, and I put the tables all around so there's
Will
plenty.
you explain this?
You said I could pick whoever I wanted to be manager. I picked Melissa.
I can do it, Angela. I know it. I'll be good at it.
What you're good at, Melissa, is getting people killed.
The ambulance is on the way.
Oh, Lord. I died. He's gone to hell.
He's fine. What are you doing here, Wilkinson?
Well, it's not every day a house blows up in my valley. This is the second time for you, Channing. You think it might be blamed on your explosive reputation?
Why don't you save your comedy routine for the gas inspector? He's inside.
Looking for what, gas leaks? You won't find any. When a house blows up with both Angela and Richard Channing in it, it can't be blamed on excess gas.
Mr. Wilkinson, my house is in pieces. I am not in the mood for jokes.
Oh, here, huh? I'm Wilkinson from the DA's office. What'd you find? Any evidence of anything?
Gas leak, no question. This pipe is part of the main line.
I'll hang on to that if you don't mind.
Try blowing on it. We get a concert F sharp.
There goes that Dick Tracy merit badge.
Tony, I've had a hard time tracking you down.
What's the problem, Angela? You run out of people to torment in Tuscany?
No, Lance is in trouble. He's had an accident.
Is he hurt?
Not physically, but I'm worried about his mental state.
You're not trying to pull anything, are you, Angela?
Look, I'm telling you the truth. You don't think I want to trick you into coming back to my valley?
I'll be there as soon as I can. And by the way, thank you very much, Angela.
Well, sometimes there are more important things than old feuds.
Don't give me that. You love any feud, old or new.